if a country tells me, sir, we like you very much, but we're going to no longer adhere to being in the reserve currency, we're not going to salute the dollar anymore, I'll say, that's okay. And you're going to pay a 100% tariff on everything you sell into the United States. And we love your product. I hope you sell a lot of it into the United States, but you're going to pay 100% tariff. He will then follow it up by saying, sir, it would be an honor to stay with the reserve currency. That will be like just playing. That's not even chess, that's checkers. But you don't have other, listen to this, you don't have other people that can talk that way. They're a BRICS nation, Spain. Okay. You know what a BRICS nation is? You'll figure it out. But, and if the BRICS nations want to do that, that's okay, but we're going to put at least a 100% tariff on the business they do with the United States. You know what the BRICS is, right? You guys know. You know what I'm saying, right?
Alipay and WeChat Pay are used in the retail space, and Secretary of Treasury is absolutely right. They have that visibility. But now it's a third party, a country, North Korea, using that along with a new system called a cross-border payment system, right, a CIPS, which is competing with SWIFT. So they have a new messaging system that they stood up in 2016, as you recall. Yes. And that new messaging system, I don't think it will undermine the role of the U.S. dollar in international commerce, but it absolutely puts to bed that SWIFT cannot be used as an instrument of our national policy. So this is a really... And I think we're decades away from China developing the robust capital markets and the legal systems to compete with the U.S. dollar. But to your question, yes, other countries have adopted the CIPS. Russia has back in 2019. They entered into a bunch of agreements. And so they're moving value, money, outside of the SWIFT system. And more, all respect to the State Department, we won't be able to use SWIFT. We've sort of weaponized SWIFT, but we won't be able to use it that much longer. Well, I respect the Secretary of Treasury says we should harden SWIFT. I frankly don't think that's going to address the real policy, and we're losing the tools. Sorry to say this, Secretary Carter. We're losing the tools. If we keep using SWIFT for secondary sanctions, and on this...
Hearing that for 15 years.
But what the
We've gotten a lot of good use out of them in the meantime.
Absolutely, but I think the runway is shortening. I think it's just shortening, and we've seen this right here in this circumstance that North Korea could have evaded sanctions, as the Secretary of Treasury said, just because they can move things across the border. But this new competition to SWIFT is real, so I concur that we should back away from secondary sanctions. And we also have to realize we have to stiffen up other tools, because SWIFT, we're in the waning days of this geopolitical tool. Secondly, as the currency director said, currency director said, is we have been leapfrogged by others, by digital currency, by digital Chinese currency. Why? Because, frankly, our central bank has been slow. And there's an appointment coming in January of 22. The president's got to decide whether to change over who's leading the Federal Reserve, whether we need some new leadership there that can move us both domestically and internationally so that we can really be competing actively, that our U.S. currency system, it's under the Secretary of Treasury, but the Federal Reserve runs our payment system. Right. And I think we need to move that Federal Reserve into the modern era. Okay. So those would be my recommendations.
Right. You mentioned crypto earlier. I think it's impossible to have a great conversation with Larry while talking about crypto. What you did with your ETF is incredible, truly incredible. And I actually believe crypto is a currency of AI. We spoke about earlier how soon enough all of us will have multiple agents, AI agents working for us. They're going to inform us, they're going to support us, they're going to make transactions on our behalf. Yeah. So worldwide, there will be explosion of financial transactions 24/7. The traditional banks, the SWIFT system, cannot support that. So crypto will play a bigger and bigger role in the age of AI.
But at the same time, we're going to digitize currency.
I'm always surprised by how big
the crypto space is, people who come to these conferences, names that you would know that would come to these conferences, and then how on the traditional asset management or even the traditional finance side, that there's literally blinders on to this massive growth in this community. And at some point, they have to come together. And I think the challenge is, from a regulatory standpoint, is that it's really difficult because it's very disruptive, but it's literally like two parallel universes kind of running together, along.
Going to a different economy. And we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box, provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting it more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, please like and subscribe if you do like what you're listening to. Please inform your friends and family and spread all over social media. It is imperative that we get back to learning finances and understand how the world really works, because once we understand how the world really works, we understand that it is all planned out. Now, I want to thank those who purchased the NWO book and the Cryptoteacher book. The NWO book shows you how the world really works, and especially in the times that we're in right now, it's definitely time for you to wake up out of that sleep. And in 2025, the NWO is going to turn on that alarm clock. It's up to you whether you wake up or not, whether you're going to hit that snooze button. Remember, my people perish from the lack of knowledge because they reject it. And guys, we're going to see stablecoin regulation, which is the foundation of this new digital economy, and it sets up down the road 2028, 2029 for that free money. And then also, of course, in the first quarter of 2025, we always get a correction. But we have trillions of dollars sitting on the sideline in money market accounts. And then plus, we know the Fed is going to cut rates. Not a lot this year, but they're definitely going to cut rates. So I see us getting a correction and then moving back up. And then we have the two powerhouses, China and the U.S., will step up these tariffs on each other. And of course, guys, that's going to hit certain parts of the market. But then we also have the hacks. We have the Birdman. We have the drums are beaten, and more movies to come, as we can see. And inflation is going to stay sticky, and layoffs are going to step up while they move in all this automation. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you. And also, guys, I want to thank those who purchased the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, much love to those who donate to the Cash App, Patreon. Much love. Keep it coming. Guys, if you're not a part of the Patreon, make sure you're donating to the channel through the actual Cash App. But guys, this next Bitcoin and crypto bull run is going to be a utility run. So you want to make sure you have the cryptos that have real utility. And much love to those who are shopping at both stores. Keep it coming. And of course, guys, we get into Bitcoin and cryptos first.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And you gotta love Trump. There's never a dull moment. And think about his age, and the performance that he's putting on is definitely amazing. Now, right now, we have Bitcoin and crypto down. And should you buy a dip? I'm not your financial advisor, not financial advice. Please do your own research. But we do the same thing every single month. We know they need Bitcoin as collateral starting on the 5th. And they have a few futures products launching in the middle of the month. So guys, we're definitely going to continue to pump and dump. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you. Now we have my son King's birthday is February 4th. So make sure you're ringing that Cash App. It doesn't matter the amount. It's definitely a blessing for the support. And we know time flies. Now, guys, make sure you're paying attention to the actual indicators. We have yield rates on Friday were up. And like I told you, they're going to slowly creep back up once Jerome is out the way. And we had the dollar on Friday up. We have volume in crypto right now down. We have Tether and USDC. And then, of course, we have the Fed. Repo at $187 billion. Make sure you're pulling it on a daily basis during the week. And we had the Fed pause. And now we get those Trump tariffs. And the Fed doesn't meet again until the middle of March. And never forget, these dates are chosen because this is a plan. It moves in phases. And Trump wants lower interest rates and a cheaper dollar. And I'm going to go over that later. But we have two economies running side by side. And the legacy economy, most people don't understand it. And that's the reason why they don't teach finances in school. And then we have this digital economy, which we know they have no idea. So they're definitely not going to understand this one. And that means they're definitely not going to be able to take advantage. And that's the reason why they bring it to the people seamless, so they'll never understand. Remember, if people understood finances, understood how the system works, it wouldn't work. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you, Now we have the Bitcoin, Ethereum spot ETFs, BlackRock, Fidelity, and Grayscale. We had Bitcoin spot ETFs down at close. Ethereum spot ETFs were up at close on Friday. Now, if you listen to Trump, he talks about the BRICS, which was funny, and countries getting off the dollar and how much pressure he will put on them. 100% tariffs. And you also hear Gary Gensler speaking on how China has their own SWIFT equivalent, which is CIPS. And then you add in the Belt and Road. Along with that digital yuan, China becomes the world superpower. And we know the dollar has been used as a weapon. When you look at Russia, don't forget Russia was planning to get off the dollar back in 2014. So as we see, all those sanctions did nothing because they had already prepared for it, because this was a plan. And if you look at all the countries that belong to Belt and Road and the U.S. looking on the outside, you can clearly see how we're going to lose that world reserve currency title. And then you have stable coin regulation coming in, which is going to allow the robots, algorithms, and drones to take the economy over without a human involved. And then to make sure there is no uprising, what do you have? You get universal basic income, but that universal basic income is going to be programmable, telling you what, when, and how to buy, and you have 3 to 6 months to spend it or poof, it's gone. And then you have all the entertainment you want, the circus, the metaverse, where you'll be able to travel from your couch. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. If you guys all I have for you, don't forget about the books. Crypto Teacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing they were still getting that free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know, I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Drama Team save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Drama Team save New York from COVID Stories 3. Part 3. King Joshua and Drama Team goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.